everybody. Thank you for tuning in on Eswatini TV. This is Dream It, Achieve It, and we are back with another insightful story. They say that farmers do not work until the sun goes down, but rather they work until their job is done. And today, we have had the opportunity to visit Sitfogoto, where they are facilitating a workshop where they're teaching everything organic. And today, we're going to be talking to Mr. Smith, who's a facilitator for everything organic because he has a farm here at Sitfogoto. And we'll also talking to the local farmers, finding out about the organic way of farming. So without wasting any of your time, let us check out the proceedings of how today went. Mr. Smith, thank you for having us. I'm sure people at home or around don't even know what organic farming is. So just a brief definition of what it is, like what is organic farming?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be with you guys. I appreciate it. Organic farming, well, there's so many content. We can sit here for hours and talk about it. Yeah. But it's basically growing whatever you want to grow without chemical enhancement and depending rather on Mother Nature with all its elements to grow what's needed to grow, which will give you at the end of the day a healthy crop. And much healthier to eat, much healthier for the environment, much healthier for your soils. So basically the principles are just to keep your soil as healthy as possible without enhancing it with any chemicals. So you end up using a lot less other chemicals to help you fight diseases, insects. So the healthier you can keep your soils, the healthier your plant growth will be, and the less chemicals you'll be using, and obviously the less input costs you'll have.
So I saw from the poster, why organic? I've been meaning to ask that question, why organic?
Well, I think it's time for the world to realize, and for the people, farmers, to realize that what we've been doing with chemical fertilizers is we've not only just been making short-term availability to our plants to grow, but we're also killing our soil slowly. For me, it's been like that for generations. We've been taught to use chemical fertilizers. That's the only way that things will grow. But I think it's been misinterpreted, and it's been chemically enhanced for a plant to grow quicker and to produce fruit much faster. Whereas though in an organic way, it's a lot, process is longer, yes, but at the end of the day, the fruit that you bear from that plant is a lot more healthier. So people are what we eat. So if we're going to be eating chemicals all the time, we're basically feeding our bodies with those same chemicals, which at the end of the day causes cancers, it causes other diseases, it causes illnesses. As generations are growing older, and coming up to the ranks, we actually see in the build of the bodies, people are smaller, the change of your gums and your teeth and all those things have an effect on chemicals. So it's, for years, that's how we've been living, but it's time that we need to just make people aware that we need to go back to the old ways, where those things weren't available 50, 60 years ago, 100 years ago. And so it's just a mindset of healthier living, healthier conditions, healthier soils, and that's the reason why you should go organic.
Yeah. So would you say, what would you say has inspired you to start this initiative of equipping young farmers or already people that are already in the farming business? What inspired you to come up with this initiative of better equipping them with skills of growing organic?
Well, first of all, the extremely quick increase of chemical fertilizers due to the war in Ukraine and Russia has led to a lot of those decisions, because those chemicals are not freely available. If you do find them, they're pretty expensive. But and the drive has been to, if we could start with the younger generations who are the providers of the food for the generations to come, and make the mindset and the changes now, then I believe we can have a better future for sustainable farming. The more sustainable we can be about it, the more healthier we will be living, the more affordable it will be, and hopefully people will realize that just with certain elements of organic materials that are just in and around your house, you can actually grow a good healthy vegetable garden, and you don't need to always add all these chemical substances into it to enhance your spinaches or your cabbages or any of that stuff, and to me, I just want to see people live healthier lives and be more sustainable about what they're doing. It's at the end of the day, whatever we don't finish on the farm, we feed to the pigs and we feed to the chickens, and so at the end of the day, you're just transferring all that chemicals all over the place, and instead of doing it more sustainable and having a food chain that actually is good for not only human body but for animals and everybody else who come as well. So for years we've been putting cow manure on our fields, but if we keep on feeding that cow chemicals and hormones and stuff, the manure actually gives us a lot less enhancement naturally, so then you still have to supplement it again with chemicals. So I just want to create an awareness that people should just start being more sustainable about what they're doing. Our soils are depleting, and if we keep on depleting the soils, what are we going to have left to grow? Our children and their children to come must still use the same land to be able to grow things. So it's about building those nutrients in the soils and stop deteriorating them with chemicals.
Yeah. And what are some of the practical ways in which people can go about organic farming in the country?
Well, use more cow manures, chicken manure, goat manures. There are so many elements that are available that Mother Earth provides to us, and it's just that we need to just go and find those elements, and we just need to combine them, and we need to be able to use it to our availability to enhance them into our soils with other micro elements, other boosters that are natural, to give us what we need to grow vegetables or maize or whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm. And would you say if a person would want to adopt this way of farming, how do they get in touch with you? Is there any outreach that you guys have aside from this workshop that we're seeing today that they can be able to get help and probably inquire more about organic farming?
Yes, now we are looking at establishing more workshops, which will be here on the farm at River Farm. We also have a foundation called Untitled Foundation, which we are building capacity within it to host more of these workshops and make more awarenesses so that we could have people attend these workshops. We're trying to reach out to NGOs and World Food Programme, whereby we would like to get involved in showing people about sustainable ways of farming. And especially with the economical situation that we're living in these days, it's just makes more sense for us to start teaching people how to grow their own food, more sustainably, which is a lot more cheaper, and then hopefully that'll help us to reach our goals. And the more people we can reach out to, the better for everybody.
And being in this type of business, or rather it's a way of living, I'd like to call it a way of living, for a while, what are some of the challenges that you feel like you've encountered and ways in which you've maneuvered to work around them? Because I'm sure that there's challenges here and there.
No, for sure. The biggest challenge I would probably say is obviously the lack of knowledge. Having to find the skill the skill set that want to actually encourage themselves to learn from the process. I found that with our staff here, it's been a challenge due to the fact that they're used to getting immediate results and instant results. Whereas this is patience. Organic way of farming is patience. You can't chase anything, you can't force anything. So I would definitely say it's the bridging of that gap of education for which has probably been our biggest challenge, and like I say, the elements are all there. We just need to enhance it with other good elements as well. If you are trying to look at quicker results, but yeah, I would say probably education has been the most challenging aspect, and also for myself, having to learn these ways and understand it, and then trying to educate it and translate them all back to your staff. So some of them are really interested, some of them really take it to heart, and actually you can see them applying it in their own homes, so which is good. So at least it shows us that they're learning something.
Yeah, and with that being said, would you encourage people at home to adopt this way of farming, and if you, why?
Definitely, I would definitely encourage people to do that back home, and my biggest reason for that is for a healthier living. You are what you eat, like I've said before, and if you're going to be eating cheeseburgers every night, you're gonna start looking like a cheeseburger. So if you can live healthier with all these conditions we've had, all this COVID experiences, and now that we're in the winter with all the flus going around, it's just the healthier you start eating more naturally, the more natural immune system you will have building in your body. So that would be my main reason to tell you. Is just it's cheaper, number one, and it's healthier, number two. So
and I saw that there were packages of organic fertilizers. How do people get a hold of that?
Most of these organic products are available at probably all the hardware outlets in Eswatini. We also sell them here from River Farm as well, at the same prices. The organic supplements are also readily available, and we also would like to encourage people to start looking into growing their own compost teas, which is also very simple. You can Google those things on Google and see how it's done. And like I said earlier in my speech, that it's what works for me on my farm might not work for you in your farm, and it's got to do with soil compositions and variants of soil nutrients and stuff, and soil organisms, but the basics stay the same, and the micro elements are the most important things that you want to grow in your soils. And they are regularly available, and there will be a lot more advertising going on about it. We're happy to have you guys here today so that we could show the people that the stuff is available, and get the brand out there, and make them realize that things are possible.
Yeah. And one last question, because we're on your farm today, with same produce that you have, what would you say best grows here? Because I see you have tomatoes and spinach. What other produce do you have around?
Our climate zone is of such a nature that it's nice and hot in the summers, very humid. So generally we can pretty much grow almost anything here. The winters aren't that severe. We are frost free, thank goodness. So as you can see, our maize has germinated well, and in this time of the year. But yeah, I would say tomatoes, peppers, chilies, spinaches, cabbages, the general staple feeds that we look at.
You talked about beans earlier.
Yes, green beans are growing quite well. We'll be planting some of them shortly again at a bigger field. Green maize, sugar beans. So I think it's all got to do with if you put your mind to it, then you can decide whether you want to really make it work or not. So all depends on how you really feel as a person about it.
What inspired you to be a part of this event today?
Firstly, is to gather knowledge about the organic farming, because I think our grandparents used to practice it before. So I think we're going back to that route. So I think we were missing out. We went to chemical farming, whereby you use the instant fertilizer, whereby it will damage the soil. It makes it even more expensive to farm if you always put the inputs every day, every year. But with organic farming, over a long time, you'll increase the yield. So I think it's the best way to go.
And there was like a proper comparison, but going forward vele yini lo vangazi ukuthi imcuwa kakhulu lo ifunzile lo ta implementer.
Eh, the most advantage about it, it improves the soil. You won't experience soil degradation. So I think it's best. So, like for instance, there was an example they showed us about the green beans, whereby even after harvesting, it will continue producing more.
Yeah.
Over a long run, you'll have a much bigger yield than the other we are used to farming. Yeah, I think it's
Uh,
eye-opening.
would you advise people at home to go for organic
They
produce?
must try it because with some of the inputs, they are already there, like corn menu. Someone who has a farm rearing cattle can use that as a menu, and it's cheaper. It's cheaper.
And would you recommend that organic farming is the way to go? Because I heard that inside they were talking about how using fertilizers is not good for the environment.
Yes, even to your health is not good, because if like the GMOs, whereby they will improve the produce will grow up faster,
Yeah.
and that is boosted by the chemicals that in there. So it will even harm your system as a human being.
Okay.
I think organically it's okay. It's a good way to go.
Beautiful viewers, I have brought another local farmer, Letty Mhlanga from Gwenya. Naye she was part of this prestigious event. Utosichazela ke naye ukuthi what are some of the things that she has learned ukuthi abe a part of this event namuhla unjani make?
Ngiyaphila sisi unjani wena?
Ngiyaphila nami ngifuna kuva nje kabantu ukuthi mhlawumbe yini lelo kwento ukuthi ufune lokuba la namuhla.
Eh ngendiwe ukuthi ngifuna kufunda about growing healthy food with no hormones and the other chemicals labawafakako uma bakha manyolo. Lengufundzile la ngilokuthi when we are practicing organic agriculture, we can easily use le manure lo mcuba lokhona lemakhaya, like sinetimbuti, sinetinkhomo, sinetinkukhu leleti lemakhaya. We can use lo mcuba loyo. Is readily available. It is cheaper for us. It's almost zero cost. And then lokunye ke lengufundzile ngilokuthi loloku organic agriculture, you harvest for a longer period of time than when you are using the conventional farming
Yeah.
with no or very little chemicals, if any. And then ke lokunye ke basifundisile lokuthi uma sebenzisa lama chemicals uwafaka lapha kule plant yakho, and then those chemicals angena la mtimbeni. They go to your brain, they go to your heart, they go to your liver, and leto tinvo leto tiyalimata lo mtimba wethu, and as a result sithole tifo letiningi. And some of the illnesses that we have are due to the type of food that we eat. And yet, if we are eating organic food, there'd be less illnesses. We should use food as medicine, not medicine as food.
Yeah.
Yes, ma.
Mhlambe kuya embili nje ungabagcugcutela uthini bamphe emakhaya ukuthi lokudla lokukahle kahle vele kutabasita kanjani.
Kutobasita make in the sense that okay kokuqala nje uma ngabe wenda le organic agriculture lama production costs ayehla because asigcini kuphela ngalokuthi sende le organic agriculture. You can even have your plants abe nema flowers and seeds, and then you can harvest those seeds bese akudingi ukuthi uphinde ubuyele esitolo. Ungakhona ukuthi usebenzise those seeds to plant all over again, and then you can exchange the seeds with other farmers from other areas or other regions in the world. So in that way, more people can be involved in agriculture with less expenses. And if still practice this organic agriculture, ngicabanga ukuthi less and less people would go to hospital because the food that we eat, some of the food reduces high blood pressure, it reduces diabetic, the level goes down. And now if you have bone diseases, nalogo futhi kuyehla. So in the long run, would have healthy families, healthy communities, then a healthy nation.
Beautiful viewers, standing next to me is Cebela Shabang. He's also a farmer and was a part of this workshop about organic farming principles. What are some of the things that he feels like he has learned in this workshop? Hi, how are you?
Hi, beautiful viewers. From this workshop, we've gathered good see organic farming is the way to go. I mean, from improving soil structure and looking at the fact that it's sustainable growth and it's a key point leyo ke ngibona ukuthi ngiyayipromote nami organic farming ukuthi hayi singaqhubeka siyende.
And ngalo kusebenzisa organic, what do you feel like are some of the main advantages that you'll be able to use when going forward from today onwards?
Okay, advantage yokuqala ma cost uyabona kulesikhathi sanyalo lusaka lamanyolo nje ngiligcina ling900 emalangeni uyabona. So looking at that ubuke ukuthi in a hectare you can spend 5,000 and less in that farming. It's a very good thing, and giving out the produce le healthy and letawuba kahle ukuthi uyidle utive na ujabula ukuthi yathi this is a fruit that is pure uyabona. That is the important part.
And then what would you say inspired you to be a part of this workshop today?
Well, I've already started. I'm using 1 hectare. Mr. Athol. What I've gathered from using this, would say it's a very easy way. And now from the produce, I've already planted green peppers from the produce. They are growing quite well, and I'm happy with that. Now look, see, I haven't spent a lot of money on that hectare for now. My spending is even less than 1,000 emalangeni, so that's quite inspiring. Now look, see, I'm going to build my soil structure and change the crops around, so that's nice.
And would you encourage people at home to adopt this way of farming? Like, what would you say to the people that have no idea about what organic farming is?
Amaswati ekhaya organic farming siyayati into lengiyidiscoverile ukuthi sine njengamaswati organic farming into lesisolo siyipractice ngoba njalo nasitocala kulima sithela umcubo wetinkomo ensimini, so into lesinayo vele lethi besingaboni ukuthi hayi ngiyo le organic farming. Into lengingayisho kubalaleli ekhaya ukuthi abaqhubeke bakwende lokho ke and look at other ways of exploring organic farming, and it's the way to go really.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you learned a thing or two, because organic farming is the way to go nowadays, because in such a way that it takes care of our environment as well. So we hope that people at home are going to adopt this way of farming and be able to produce more fruitful produce in their farms. I'm bringing ladies also here today, and with me is Dlamini. She's a supplier of vegetables. She usually imports, but she was a part of this event today because she's trying to find out, can she adopt this way of farming into her own business? Hi, how are you, Dlamini?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Can you please tell us, what inspired you to come here today?
My interest in living a healthier life. I'm aware that the vegetables we sometimes buy from the shop They have a reduced nutritional value.
Yeah.
And I'm aware Gutsi going the organic route is the best way. So I was very interested when I saw this invitation, and I was excited to know that there's local farmers who are actually adopting the organic way of farming. That's why I came here, because I have an interest in doing it organically in the near future.
That sounds pretty interesting. Now, going forward, do you feel like the organic way of farming is something that you'll be able to adopt? Yini oloyifunzile kahle kahle?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. What has interested me from this meeting is knowing that there's now easy access to organic fertilizer. Because before I wouldn't even think about it. Where do you get a nearest crow to find manure from? But then now at least, as much as here we're learning about organic farming, there are also suppliers of the organic fertilizer, which makes it very accessible for someone who's even living in an urban environment, and someone who doesn't have neighbors or easy access to farmers who can provide them with organic manure. So this for me makes it practical.
Yeah.
So I will definitely be taking this route because I want to try it out. I don't want to discount it before I give it a fair chance.
Yeah.
So yes, so my coming here has been very beneficial.
Yeah.
It's healthier. It makes your soil more healthier. It's not just about the produce or just about the vegetables. And it's got long-term effects. You put it in today, it might not work as quick as shop menus.
And also, they were talking about how the chemically produced vegetables or food is quite quick to grow than the organic produced food. And I'm thinking that people have a misconception at home, but there are some disadvantages that come with that. What did you learn about that?
I was also on that mindset because who wants long term? We want to plant now and have the proper produce now. But then long term wise, you get more nutritional value from something that has been grown organically than something that has been grown commercially. You see some packages in shops, they've got fortified with so many vitamins and so many minerals. They have to put back the vitamins to make the thing nutritional.
I hope you guys at home have had an amazing time getting to know the details and the ins and outs of organic farming. And we hope that you'll be able to adopt that into your way of living. And as Dream It, Achieve It, that is all that we had for you today. We love to see people that are self-efficient and people that are going to help themselves be able to start job opportunities for the rest of the youth in Eswatini and for more people in the kingdom of Eswatini. And keep watching Eswatini TV until next time, every Saturday at 10. Don't miss it out.